All right, Shalom. Shalom, giving all praises, glory, and honors unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the 144,000 rest of the whole elect out there. This is your brother, the priest Tazaiwan from GMS Atlanta, back with another edifying video. And another protest is happening. This time in Turkey. These types of situations, the unrest, the protests, the riots, these things are going to continue to erupt and pop up in different countries and cities and places around the world. Because of the wickedness of these governments and these heathens and how they're oppressing their citizens. Some of them are set up, some of them are true blue coming together. They're all signs of the end of Esau's world and of the soon return of Yahushua. So this says, this is about injustice. Crowds defy ban to protest over Istanbul mayor's detention. So, these people around the world are finding it pretty much any and every reason to protest, to gather together and hold up signs and scream against the government and their rulers. But that's because the people are oppressed. All right? Matter of fact, let me get a scripture here. This is the book of Proverbs, the 29th chapter. Just came to mind. Proverbs chapter 29 and 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And the fact that we're seeing these protests and these riots and civil unrest and uprisings around the world, that's proof that the wicked are in authority. That proves that the evil and the unrighteous are the ones that have power in the earth over the people. All right? Because if the righteous were in authority, then everyone would be prospering. But we're constantly seeing more and more strict, authoritarian, austerity measure, like policies and rules, bear down upon the people. And that's all going back to the Hegelian dialectic, okay? And also pressure from above, pressure from below. It's all a part of Esau's agenda, but in the end, it's going to end up being his downfall. So the wicked are in power. They're the ones that's ruling, and the people are mourning. Okay? It says, people gather at City Hall, and students march in anger at arrest of Ekrem Imamoglu, a likely opposition candidate for presidency. Yeah, because they're dealing with a lot of, I believe, Turkey, or is it Erdogan is out of office over there. So now you have different people. Well, let me read it here. It says, outside Istanbul City Hall on Wednesday night, a mass of protesters gathered in the freezing air to defy a citywide ban on gatherings. So yeah, so this is them, right? I'll get the scripture, 2nd Ezra the 15th chapter, that they should not regard their kings nor their princes, right? Their rulers, which is what? Their laws. Here it is that they have a law or a ban on gathering together. But these citizens don't care. Protesters don't care. Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, and these are signs of the end. Okay? It says, a banner bearing a portrait of the Istanbul mayor, Ekrem İmamoğlu, giving a speech alongside the words, sovereignty belongs unconditionally to the nation, covered part of the facade of his now vacant office. And dawn raged that morning. Police had detained İmamoğlu, the only contender seen as capable of defeating Recep Tayyip Erdogan in presidential elections. For many residents of Turkey's largest city, the arrest symbolized how far the state was willing to go to remove a perceived threat to the incumbent president. Lines of armored water cannon trucks were lined up, and riot police massed beneath the arches of a nearby Roman aqueduct. Right, because Turkey, Istanbul, that goes back to Constantinople, which goes back to the Eastern Roman Empire, Byzantium, which was taken over by Israelites, Jake, during the Dark Ages, after Emperor Constantine of Rome, which started Christianity, which was a black man, by the way. Christianity was started by black men, all right, wicked black men, wicked Israelites, which were pagan Romans at the time. So there's a lot of history dealing with Turkey and Istanbul, and it plays a major part in prophecy as well. So now here in the modern day, you got these riots and these protests that are taking place. It says, some marching to the edge of the protest that filled the park around the city hall, illuminated by the lights from a nearby minaret. A group of teenagers waved Turkish flags and smoked cigarettes as they sat atop a high wall to get a view of the assembled crowds. You see it here. So that's a lot of people down there. Let's read this. It says, I'm not here for political reasons. This is about something more than politics. This is about injustice, said Beryl, an Istanbul University student. And that's where a lot of these protests take place, in these university campuses, the youth, the young people, the ones that have the energy, the non-working, the under privileged, but they, the youth, they go out there and they protest in their strength against, what they see as the man. And these same things happen over here in America, and they happen worldwide. It said Beryl, an Istanbul University student who was protesting with her mother. Okay, so her mother was out there. She said she had been shocked at the number of armed police on campus to repress the protests, although it had done little to quell the anger. Like most protesters gathered outside the city hall, Beryl and her mother declined to give their full names, fearing the consequences of attending the demonstration as lines of riot police marched past. We have laws on the books here that are not being obeyed. So there is no rule of law, her mother said, breaking off to join in chants demanding the government resign. And you see the riot police here. So let me get another scripture. Let me get the prophecy that I quoted. All right, this is the Apocrypha, which is a part of the King James Bible. 1611. The whole Bible, not the regular Bible that you see in these churches and these Christian bookstores. 2 Ezra chapter 15. I'm going to go to verse 16. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. So sedition is an uprising, standing up against the government. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. So these citizens, these protesters, they're not regarding the band. of what these government officials say, because they feel as though their government has violated their own laws, and a quote from the protester, an injustice has been done to the people. So this is prophecy, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Curfews, they got riot police out there, they got armored trucks. So things, could escalate over there in Turkey and spill out into other regions and spill out into what's already turned into a world war. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So that's the time that we're living in. Okay? Sedition, protests, riots, civil wars, civil unrest, riots. Okay? Now this next article here, dealing with the ceasefire over there in Gaza. It says, and this is from March 20th, 2025. Israelis clash with police. Israelis clash with police. Mass protests against Netanyahu's handling of war. And they've been protesting over there in the land of Israel for a while now. Against this guy, Bibi. Okay? Which just proves that, those people over there in the land of Israel today are not the true people, because there will be no war and there will be no fighting when the Israelites return to the land. Okay? Just read Isaiah, the 2nd chapter. So the land is waiting for the true people. Anyway, so it says, clashes erupted between scores of demonstrators and security forces, with police using skunk water to disperse the crowd. So same thing, all right? The citizen protesters coming against the police forces and the government rulers. Israeli police arrested 12 protesters near Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's residence. So they're bringing it to his home. Hey, they should not regard their kings nor princes. These people are not regarding the government. They're going to your home. They know where you stay at. They know where your mama stay. So this is a sign of the times here. Israeli police arrested 12 protesters near Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's residence in West Jerusalem on Wednesday night, amid demonstrations against the dismissal of Shin Bet chief Ronen Bar and the government's handling of captives in Gaza. In a statement on X, which is Twitter, the police said the demonstrators were arrested for disturbing public order, threats, and assaulting a citizen and police officers. And there's a video here from March 19, 2025. Public disturbance in Jerusalem. 12 arrested after rioters set fires, endangered others, and defied police orders. Officers extinguished the flames and acted swiftly to restore public safety. So, this is what's going on over there in the state of Israel. Okay? It's a state. Over the past few hours, dozens of protest participants have violated public order at the scene, including by lighting a fire in the middle of the road and posing a real risk to other protest participants, the statement added. Authorities said security forces, with the assistance of border police, continue efforts to restore order in the area. Clashes erupted between scores of demonstrators and security forces, with police using skunk water to disperse the crowd, according to the Anadolu News Agency. One officer and a civilian were reportedly assaulted. So it's chaos over there. Okay? And eventually what's going to happen is all this turmoil, right? Now, let me see here. Over here on the right, you see Trump's picture. All right. Nero Caesar and the reincarnation. Shifting allegiances, the role of Palestine in U.S. domestic and foreign policy. Why did Israel collapse the ceasefire agreement now? So there's just a lot of things going on in that region of the earth, man, and it's hot. It's hot. It's hot in the earth. Okay? It's hot in the Middle East. That's a lesson right there. It's hot in the Middle East. Or it's hot in the East, period, as opposed to over here in the U.S. and you know, the West, right? When you start getting towards Turkey and the Levant region, on over to Iran, and then you got, you know, Russia, China. It's hot, man. It's hot in the East. But that's a sign of wars to come. Okay? So let's get Luke the 21st chapter. And I'm going to get this in the AMP Bible. Let's go to the AMP version, the Amplified Bible. And you got to watch for these prophecies, man. You got to watch for the things that are happening in the earth and apply them and filter them through the scriptures. Because, you know, it's always something going on, and there's always something that you can bring precepts out on, right? So this is Luke 21. Excuse me, this is Luke 21 in the AMP Bible. Yeah, I'll start at verse 10. It says, then Yahushua, right? It says Jesus, but his real name is not Jesus. Jesus is a made-up word, okay? There wasn't no J invented until the 1500s, which this word here goes back to the Greek word Jesus, which, you know, there's no E's in the name of the Lord, because the name of the Lord is Hebrew, all right? He wasn't a Greek, all right? Jesus is a Greek name, Greek term, but the Messiah was a Hebrew Israelite of the tribe of Judah, and they didn't speak Greek, they spoke Hebrew. So the true Hebrew name of the Lord, the Son of the Most High, is Yahushua. So then Yahushua told them, nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Okay? And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing kingdom against one another, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, right? Russia against Ukraine, Israel against Gaza. You know, the U.S. is involved. Europe is getting involved. China's getting involved. All right? It says there will be violent earthquakes and in various places famines and deadly and devastating pestilences, plagues, epidemics. So we know what that's all about. All right? And just go back 5 years. Wow, it's already been 5 years, huh? So time's speeding up. And there will be terrible sights and great signs from heaven. Oh, and then last week during the Passover that we had here at GMS, you know, there was a blood moon eclipse that same night. So that's a great sign from heaven. Okay? let me see here. Okay, hold up. I missed it. So now let me go back up to the 9th verse. Here's the point. When you hear of wars and disturbances, right? Now, when you go back to this article here, right, it said, let me see if I can find it. Let's see here. I know it mentioned it. If it's not that one, then it's in this one. Then I might read some more. Okay, here we go. Yep. Public disturbance in Jerusalem. 12 arrested after rioters set fires, endangered others, and defied police orders. Officers extinguished the flames and acted swiftly to restore public safety. So this is what's going on in Jerusalem. Same thing is going on over there in Turkey. So when you read here in the book of Luke, what does it prophesy about? When you hear of wars and disturbances, what does it say? Civil unrest, revolts, uprisings, right? Which are what? Protests, okay, sedition. So Yahweh Shah prophesied of these very things happening that you can go online on your local news website, turn on the news and watch, right? Your newspaper speak on these things happening today, 2025. So the scriptures are true and they're living, all right? Prophecy. And that's one thing that these Christians, Vocab Malone and these other Christians and these gainsayers against the Israelites, it's one thing that they can't make sense of, and that's Bible prophecy. It says when you hear of wars and disturbances, like disturbances in Jerusalem, like I just read to you, civil unrest, revolts, uprisings, do not panic. Don't panic. For these things must take place first, but the end will not come immediately. All right? And then it goes into all the different signs that I read you before. Okay? And then, of course, we're going to go into a time of persecution of this truth. Right? But we have to remain faithful unto the end. So with that, I'm going to end it here. These things are happening. Yahweh Shah's words are definitely coming to pass. And it's just a matter of time before Yahweh Shah returns, especially once the MOTB, the biometric implant in the brain, the micro C hip, the one in the hand. Once that is implemented and mandated, and they get this digital ID, digital wallet system going in the earth, then things are going to move quick, and Yahweh Shah is going to return. All we got to do is look up. What Yahweh Shah say, look up for your redemption, draweth nigh. So with that, hope this is edifying. Shalom.